Ladies and gentlemen, this is Atlee Greene. I'm here with the Funky Weapon Adam Kohn, and we're going to review WWE TLC Tables, Ladders, and Chairs 2016, which emanated moments ago from the American Airlines Center in Dallas, Texas. There were 6 matches officially on the card, plus one kickoff show match, where it was a tag team match, 10-man tag team match, where Apollo Crews, American Alpha, and the Hype Bros defeated Kurt Hawkins, the Ascension, and the Vaudevillains, where American Alpha picked up the win with grand amplitude on the Simon Gotch. But then the first match of the official pay-per-view portion of the show was Bray Wyatt and Randy Orton defeating Rhino and Heath Slater to become the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions when Orton hit Rhino with an RKO off of the Bray Wyatt Spider Walk distraction.
Yeah. And I gotta tell you, Bray finally won a championship, and it only took 4 years, and I am so excited. I honestly didn't even see the last tag in that match, and I didn't care. I got lost in this match. I was trying to keep up with what was going on. But I think there's a bigger point here in how they portrayed this match and how it was booked. Atlee, to me, they made the Wyatt family look a little bit unstoppable.
Oh, absolutely, because the thing is, you've been wondering all throughout this entire time since Orton joined the Wyatt family, can he be trusted? He is the Viper. When is he going to turn on and bite Bray Wyatt? Even Luke Harper for a while had a hard time trusting him. But of course, Randy Orton made the sacrifice play, and then Luke Harper made the sacrifice play just when it looked like Randy Orton was going to get gored by Rhino on the outside of the floor. And then once they won the Tag Team Championship, now this new incarnation of the Wyatt family, they're running on all cylinders. They're in sync completely, and now it's going to say that, hey, we're here, watch out. And I like that story they're telling, because you're still wondering, which I think is going to happen at some point, that Randy Orton is going to turn his back on Bray Wyatt and get a measure of revenge, and that feud starts up again. But for right now, scary times ahead for the WWE SmackDown Tag Team division.
I don't think we're going to see Randy turn on Bray and Luke until probably around into the heart of WrestleMania season. So my guess is maybe after the SmackDown pay-per-view post-Royal Rumble, we'll get the turn, or we'll get it at that pay-per-view, whatever it's going to be, Fastlane or whatever.
But then we go to the second match of the evening as Nikki Bella defeated Carmella in a no disqualification match. And Mauro Ranallo pointed out this is the second ever no disqualification match in TLC history. And some of the bullet points here were Carmella had Nikki Bella tied up in the Tree of Woe, and then she did the You Can't See Me taunt making fun of her boyfriend John Cena, and then she hit her right in the midsection and the leg with the kendo stick. And this was the point where they pointed out that WWE TLC was trending #1 worldwide on Twitter. Of course, Nikki Bella ended up defeating Carmella with the Rack Attack 2.0 for the win. But then the aftermath is what was the most interesting part, Adam, because Carmella got on the microphone and said that she's not the one that attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series, and it turns out Natalya was the one that attacked Nikki Bella at Survivor Series. So Carmella dropping the dime on Natalya as the perpetrator who attacked Nikki Bella. And I thought this was interesting because, of course, we all assume it's Carmella, but Natalya, I actually thought it was her from Jump Street because she was the coach of Team SmackDown Survivor Series, and she really wanted to wrestle in that match. But Adam, you know what I thought was awesome?
What did you think was awesome?
I loved it. Not you, no. I thought that what was awesome was as soon as they got done getting over the shock that Carmella is dropping the dime on Natalya as being the perpetrator, the next segment is Natalya helping a WWE fan pick out his engagement ring at Kay Jewelers.
Yes.
So obviously this proves that Carmella is clearly lying, because Natalya is taking time out of her busy schedule as a WWE superstar to help some fan get an engagement ring to propose to his girlfriend. Clearly she wanted to do something so sneaky as to attack one of her fellow roster members from behind.
Just what a heel would do. Lead you into a false sense of security and then hit you in the back with a steel chair.
But Adam, the next match is the ladder match for the Intercontinental Championship, where The Miz defeated Dolph Ziggler to retain the championship. And what I thought was cool was before the match started, they showed a video package highlighting some of the greatest IC title holders of all time, such as Bret Hart, Ultimate Warrior, Kurt Hennig, Shawn Michaels, and then they showed videos of some of the greatest IC title matches of all time. Some of them not ladder matches, some of them were ladder matches, such as Razor and Shawn from WrestleMania 10. Then they fade to black, and the next shot is Maurice using hairspray to help Miz win the championship, which I thought was pretty clever because that's a particular highlight that shows how much Miz has, in storyline wise, dishonored the Intercontinental Championship. And then Daniel Bryan is interviewed by some lady in the back that looks like it hurts whenever she smiles. And he said Ziggler would be a much better representative for SmackDown Live as the Intercontinental Champion. Miz got in his face, said, I told you I didn't like you, told you you didn't like me. And it was funny because as the Miz is getting in Daniel Bryan's face, you could hear like this one fan in the background of the audience saying, no one likes you, go back to real world. No one likes you, go back to real world. He said about 3 or 4 times, and I couldn't help but notice it as the Miz is doing this thing, cutting a scathing promo on Daniel Bryan. And then the match starts, and Adam, talk to me. What did you like about this match?
You made reference. We had a 2-week build-up to TLC. We didn't have much time to do this. Seeing Miz and Daniel Bryan's feud all over again from start to finish drew me back into this match. It made me want to see that match. So, a video package that really drove it home for something that we had 2 weeks to really prep for. I think it hammered home, at least for me. Now, for me, there were some absolutely beautiful moves in this match. We had a figure 4 leg lock through a ladder. We had a skull-crushing finale onto a ladder. And honestly, that looked bad because it looked like he took a direct headshot to that ladder. Miz just dangling by the championship holder was fantastic. And I'm thinking to myself, he's going to have some fantastic forearm strength. That slingshot powerbomb, how did that ladder not break? And Miz's selling on some of the ladder points and him just dangling there by one arm with his eyes glazed over, it just kept drawing me into the match so much that I got invested in the feud again. Because we were talking about this before in the SmackDown breakdown. It's like, we kind of wish we cared a bit more. To me, that package drew me in. The match delivered, and it delivered in spades. And, Atlee, we got to talk about that promo after the match. I loved it. And that ending comment where he said, I ran through the mic, and his facial expressions, the way he said it, was awesome.
I actually didn't get into this match until Miz started working over the leg of Dolph Ziggler. I was looking at my watch, I was surfing the net a little bit, and not because it was a bad match by any stretch of the imagination, but it was kind of boring because all the spots that they were doing with the ladder and off the ladder was stuff that I had seen before a million times in different ladder matches. And I thought to myself, they're really not doing anything that stands out, in my opinion. So it didn't draw my attention until Miz started working over the leg of Dolph Ziggler. And then I thought, okay, now there's a story being told. Now there's some stakes that get into play because obviously Ziggler's going to have a tough time climbing that ladder the more Miz works over that leg. I like how when the Miz locked up the figure 4 leg lock with Dolph Ziggler's leg wrapped up into the ladder, and I liked that was really cool. And then I liked how Ziggler couldn't connect with the super kick, and that's when the Miz hit the skull crushing finale onto the ladder from the belt rung and fell down. And here's the thing: I actually thought he hurt himself for a few minutes, legitimately hurt himself, because when he fell and rolled outside the ring, he was holding his right leg.
Yeah.
And normally, when you work the leg and you injure the leg, it's always the left leg that you work. It's always the left leg that, quotes, get injured, not the right one. So he started really holding the right one, and he dropped that mother effer bomb. I was saying to myself, wow, he might have either really legitimately injured his right knee, or he might have just banged it up for a few minutes and he's in some pain. But kudos if he was in pain, kudos if he wasn't in pain. Give that man an award because he was selling very, very well. Of course, both men are climbing up to the ladder, and in the end, the Miz hits 2 low blows on Dolph Ziggler, which causes Ziggler to fall down. Miz grabs the belt. He's still your Intercontinental Champion, and Mauro Ranallo calls it the final encounter. So this was definitely the blow-off to the Dolph Ziggler-Miz feud. And as we kind of touched upon on our TLC preview show, Adam, where would you want to see both of these fellas go from here?
I want to see Miz continue to defend this thing and hold it until WrestleMania, to be honest. But now the question is, what do we do with Dolph Ziggler? He had the career match. We were all invested in him. And then Survivor Series happened, and it was like, okay, let's take 3/4 to, 7/8 of our roster and put him on Survivor Series teams. And it took a bit of the steam out of Ziggler, if you think about it. Coming off that career versus title match, Survivor Series, and now a 2-week build-up to TLC. was a fun match, back and forth, but I don't know what we do with Ziggler from here.
The next match is a chairs match where Baron Corbin defeated Kalisto, and the finish came where he used the end of days and just planted Kalisto on a sea of steel chairs in the middle of the ring for the 1, 2, 3. And Adam, you called this one on our preview show.
That's right. Kudos to me. I called the ending of this match on the preview show. Kudos to me. I said end of days on a pile of steel chairs. The one thing that I didn't call was how good this match was. And Atlee, I gotta say, it was a really good to great match by both of them. I saw a lot more out of Kalisto in this match with a vicious side, and I saw a lot out of Baron Corbin too. But I just wish I cared more.
I like David Otunga's commentary on this one. Whenever Kalisto had the steel chair in his hand, he would say, you know what, once the smaller man has the steel chair, size no longer matters. And I thought Kalisto did a good job in telling that particular piece of the story that we saw unfold. I also like his new gear. I like that he has new gear and he doesn't look like he's waiting for the band to get back together, that band being the Lucha Dragon, so I liked it. And I'm going to tell you, if I was a wrestler in WWE, this is the one match I would never want to work because getting hit with those chairs constantly absolutely sucks. You're just sore for the next couple of days on your back, your arms, your shoulders, everything. At least with the table, it can kind of pad the bump a little bit. So, nevertheless, I did like Kalisto's intensity. I liked Baron Corbin's intensity. Baron Corbin's kind of hit or miss for me as far as the theatrics of his performance. Sometimes he's on, and sometimes he's not really on. But I thought he was on, and Kalisto did a good job too, but in the end, Baron Corbin gets the big win, and we'll see where both of these wrestlers go from here. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they try to make a big deal of Baron Corbin in the Royal Rumble coming up, because you have the two big badasses already in the Rumble from Raw, and you have nobody on the SmackDown side yet, so I'm curious to see how that's going to unfold.
Atlee, let me ask you something about Kalisto. What do you do with this guy? Because you tried giving him a shot at the cruiserweights, and now this is the blow off of Baron Corbin. What do we do with Kalisto now? I don't want to see a guy this talented get lost in the shuffle.
I say you put Kalisto on Monday Night Raw as part of the Cruiserweight division, or you do the same thing that 205 Live is doing with Austin Aries. Austin Aries was on commentary during the debut episode of 205 Live, and even though he's currently in NXT, he has already stated that he wants a shot at the champion as soon as he's cleared to wrestle. So if an NXT wrestler is not on the main roster for either brand can wrestle on 205 Live, I think maybe you can make an exception for Kalisto as well. So that's what I would like to see. Adam Cohn's main event of the evening was for the SmackDown Women's Championship as Alexa Bliss defeated Becky Lynch in a tables match, and I liked the suddenness of the finish, and that's even the word, suddenness. I just liked how they're both brawling on the apron, and all of a sudden, boom, Alexa Bliss just gets down, sweeps the leg, powerbomb between the table. Your winner, Alexa Bliss. And I remember on the preview show you thought that they weren't going to give it to Alexa Bliss in this type of fashion, but they did, and I liked how it wasn't a fluky thing either. I liked how she legitimately put Becky Lynch through a table, no shenanigans, no cheating, even though you really can't cheat in a tables match because there's no disqualification. But I liked the beginning of the match, how Becky Lynch pulled the table out from underneath the ring, and then Alexa Bliss just lays her out, and then puts the table underneath the ring. And everybody's like, you need to do that, Alexa, in order to win. What are you doing? But I just liked it how she was just like, you know what? I ain't ready to use the table yet, so I'm going to beat her up some more. And then I liked how they're brawling on the apron some more, and then she bit Becky Lynch, when Becky Lynch tried to do, I believe, a tornado DDT. The referee's admonishing her, and then Alexa just yells, I heard you! Again, I think she's one of the best overall performers on SmackDown right now, bar none. And we have a new star in the women's division.
It's about damn time. Yeah, you're right. She is the best thing going on. One of the best things going on SmackDown right now. I thought a lot of this match was excellent. The way they executed the ending was picture perfect, because who would expect little 5 foot, full of vengeance, full of power, and not even full of power because she did a power bomb and Becky right through that table. Who would expect this 5 feet of fury, as Morrow likes to call her? Who would expect her to do a power bomb like that? I didn't. I did not see that power bomb coming, but it was beautiful, and the way that ending was executed to perfection. And Alexa Bliss is the new SmackDown Women's Champion. and it's about time.
But one thing I do want to say about this match is that there was no heat in this match. The fans in the arena were just really sitting on their hands and they weren't making much noise at all. And I kind of felt bad for the ladies because they were really busting their ass to put on a good match. But despite the fact that the audience didn't seem to be into it until near the end, I was into the match. And I actually think they got the fans a little bit back into it when Becky Lynch did the disarmer while having Alexa Bliss's arm locked up into the leg of the table. So I thought that was pretty cool. But they had a hard time getting the crowd. And I'm not sure if the crowd was just really tired from the great ladder match and the surprisingly good Barry Kohn vs. Kalisto that the SmackDown Women's Championship kind of got lost in the shuffle as far as time goes. But nevertheless, Alexa Bliss is the champ. And they interviewed Becky Lynch after, and she was like, I really appreciate the microphone being put in my face. I'm not mad at you, I'm just really heartbroken. And I really liked that because that really shows who Becky Lynch is because she's a competitor through and through. She wants to win, but when she loses, it hurts. It really hurts. And I like that because we're in this day and age on the WWE main roster where nobody really gets mad at the fact or that they lose. They're not mad at the fact that they lose a match or lose a championship. And it was good to see Becky Lynch just really heartbroken over the fact that she lost the Women's Championship. And of course, if you look at it from a storyline perspective, she must be really mad at the fact that she lost to Alexa, of all people, who's been making life a living hell since Backlash.
That segment itself was really interesting because my first thought was the same thing Becky thought. Why the heck you in my face interviewing about a lost start now? Clearly you can see I'm upset. Get out of my face. So I think they used a little interviewing thing actually to perfection in this instance because it really captured Becky's emotion. It was pure raw emotion after that match. They didn't go to Alexa. They went right to Becky, and I think that hammered it home.
And then the main event of the evening was a TLC match, table, ladders, and chairs for the WWE World Championship, where AJ Styles defeated Dean Ambrose. And the big news point of this match, besides the hole in AJ Styles' pants, was James Ellsworth turned heel and pushed the ladder just as Dean Ambrose was about to grab the championship. Dean Ambrose fell through a sea of tables. AJ Styles got back into the ring, climbed the ladder, grabbed the belt. 1, 2, 3. Winner, new still world champion AJ Styles. And this was a fun match because they kept on pushing how this is something outside of AJ Styles' element, but if you ever saw stuff in TNA, you'd be like, yeah, not so much. But of course, TNA doesn't count in the land of WWE. So again, I think the biggest holy S spot was the springboard 450 on the outside and through a table. And I like the elbow jump off the ladder to the commentary table by Dean Ambrose. And when Jane Ellsworth came down, the crowd kind of came alive because they were like, what the hell is he doing here? He has a neck brace on. He just got the Styles Clash off the steel steps last week on SmackDown, and it looked like Styles was going to do it again to him, but Dean Ambrose made the save, which makes it even more heartbreaking that James Ellsworth turned on Dean Ambrose. And I actually watched a little bit of Talking Smack before we started doing this show, and James Ellsworth was being interviewed, and he was saying, hey, you know what? Dean's going to get over it, because the way I look at it, AJ Styles made my life a living hell, and once I beat AJ Styles on SmackDown this Tuesday for the world title, I'll give Dean Ambrose a rematch. So now we've gone from very humble, no mean bone in his body, James Ellsworth, to a complete heel who's very cocky and actually believes he has the skills to be a world champion. So quite the turnaround. And I actually thought it was interesting. They didn't really announce anything for the Royal Rumble on the SmackDown side of things because Raw already has two big announcements for the Royal Rumble. The fact that Lesnar and Goldberg are the first two entrants in the Rumble. I thought they would do something, maybe announce that Cena's going to be in the Rumble, maybe Taker's going to be in the Rumble, or something, but they didn't do anything. And I hope that's something they can rectify soon because Raw's just running away with the big announcements as far as the Royal Rumble is concerned. But again, I think this was a well-worked match, but it did kind of get awkward a little bit because AJ Styles, again, had the hole in the seat of his butt in his tights, and it got awkward looking because basically he went commando, number one. Number two, the cameramen were trying to avoid shooting his butt at all costs. And then because WWE was trying desperately to not shoot his rear end, it became an awkward affair to watch at times. But I'm not making fun of the guy whatsoever, because if I was in the ring and that happened to me, I'd be absolutely mortified. So I'm not going to be like the people on Twitter just making fun of him and making fun of the whole, because that sucks. But hey, to kind of keep his composure in the WWE main event and to still put on the performance he did, bravo, AJ Styles, bravo.
Atlee, I gotta say, that little split tight thing, I don't know. I couldn't take the match seriously for like most of this match. Like once I saw it, I'm like, oh, come on. Like they're putting on an instant classic, and it's just the humor factor of just like, okay, they're trying not to shoot it, but it's still getting in there. Towards the end, I don't know if the plan was when they were on the ladders to originally AJ to be facing camera and they were looking at Dean, but there's so much funny in that match. And I'm not mocking AJ in the least. It was just a funny moment. Kudos to him. He went right through it and kept working like nothing ever happened. And that's the sign of a true and consummate professional, which is what AJ Styles is. But Atlee, for me, it was an instant classic.
I'm not going to go as far as instant classic, but it was definitely a fun match worthy of the moniker tables, ladders, and chairs. Your winner, AJ Styles, still world champion, and that's the last SmackDown pay-per-view of 2016. And Adam, what are your overall thoughts, your final thoughts, as we close out the show here?
Overall thoughts is I thought there was some phenomenal spots in this entire card. Just some phenomenal moves. You had the springboard 450. Yeah, you had the jumping ladder spot. You had Corbin and Kalisto with all the chairs. The women were doing great with the tables. I mean, even the women's no disqualification match was really fun. Wyatt family came out looking and smelling like roses, or decaying roses in their case. But overall, I'm giving this 3.5 to 4 stars out of 5. This match, like what I said in the previous show, could be a sneaky good card, and it was a very sneaky good card. And for me, none of the matches disappointed in this whatsoever.
For me, I'm going to give this show a B minus, and I do that because when it comes to the overall ranking of the show, my overall ranking of the show, I think a lot of it gets hurt a little bit by the fact that, again, they only had 2 weeks to really hype this show. But at the same time, I'm glad they didn't add any more matches to the main card, because when you see that there are only 6 matches assigned for the pay-per-view portion, you're thinking to yourself, well, obviously they're going to add more matches to the live pay-per-view portion to give it like 7 or maybe even 8 matches. I'm glad they didn't, because you gave all these matches the appropriate amount of time they needed to really breathe and tell their story. And I really also believe that this show did a good job of keeping up with the theme of SmackDown, where the matches to an extent matter more than the story. So B minus is my grade for TLC 2016. But folks, that's going to do it here on this TLC review show at Gerwick.net. That's GERWECK.net, Gerwick.net, your source for pro wrestling news since 1997. Before we get out of here, Adam, anything you want to show before we leave?
Now, just continue to check out our SmackDown Breakdown show each and every week here at Gerwick.net. And you can follow me on Twitter and the Fantasy Life app at AdamWX21.
And you all can follow me on Twitter at Greene, and definitely check out my blog at thegreenscreen.net. But folks, for Adam Kohn, this is Atlee Greene. Sayonara, suckers. We'll see you next time.
Laters, peoples.